Yeah! Here we go now, baby. We are right back into the action for another day of the week. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of Before You Bet right here on the Covers YouTube channel. Make sure you smash that subscribe button right down there. Also airing live on X right now. If you guys want to be a part of the show, it is very easy. Hit up the comment section on YouTube in the live chat or the live chat over on X. Let us know what some of your best bets are for tonight, whether it be the NBA, college hoops, NHL, any futures bets for college hoops, conference tourneys, March Madness right around the corner. So let us know. Yes, indeed, I am back after a 2-show absence. I was down to Florida for a little bit of fun in the sun. UFC 299, got out to see some family. Ate a lot of food, drank some ice cold beer. It was absolutely fantastic, but I am happy to be back. We're going rapid fire today. Big basketball show. I got 4 for the NBA. Roe, who will be with us in a matter of minutes, has 4 for college hoops. Okay, enough small talk. Let's get right into the action down in Miami, where I just was. A rematch of the NBA Finals. We have the Nuggets in town to take on the Heat, and I'm going to go under on the total of 215 and a half. So, plenty of low-scoring games between these teams. When you go back to the NBA Finals, they've actually gone under in 5 of 6 since they played in the NBA Finals. One regular season game between these teams this season. It was just a couple of weeks ago. They only combined for 200 points in that game. Both teams playing good defense right now, 2nd and 6th in opponent EFG shooting percentage over the last 10 games, and expect a very slow pace in this game. 27th and 28th in pace on the season. And Miami's not in a rush to be zipping up and down the court, throwing up shots. They're 29th in shot attempts since the All-Star break. So expect a slow pace and a lower scoring game in Miami. Next up, another under. We have the Pacers and the Bulls getting after it. Give me under 229 and a half. So check out this trend. 13 straight Pacers games with a total lower than 240 have gone under. We played this one, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, and the trend has continued. So we're going to back it again here tonight. You dig into the stats here. The thing that really stands out is Chicago's shooting numbers are absolute dog shit since the All-Star break. 26 in EFG percentage in that span, especially bad from three-point land. And maybe take this with a little bit of a grain of salt, but we have seen a history of low-scoring matchups between these teams. Both games this season between the Pacers and Chicago have gone under this number of 229 and a half, and they have gone under in 8 of their last 11 matchups overall. Okay, next up, let us take a trip to Prop City, and we're going to start things off with Hornets center Nick Richards. I like him to go over 19 and a half points plus rebounds versus the Memphis Grizzlies. So Memphis is struggling versus opposing centers. They're in the bottom 5 in both points and rebounds allowed to centers since the All-Star break. Memphis dead last in field goal percentage as well. So brick city for them. There should be a lot of rebounding opportunities for Richards. And this should really be a good spot for offensive rebounds and second chance points for Richards. He leads Charlotte in both since the All-Star break. Memphis is struggling in both of these areas, so don't be surprised to see some offensive rebounds followed by some immediate putbacks here for Richards. And he's hot. Filling that stat sheet, he's had 23 or more points plus rebounds in 4 of his last 5 games. And when his minutes are up, he's filling that stat sheet. His minutes are up a little bit this month, and he has topped this number in 6 straight games where he's played at least 30 minutes. So it looks like a good under-the-radar spot for Nick Richards. And we'll wrap up my NBA picks out in the West Coast, out in Portland. Anfernee Simons, I like him to go over 3.5 3-pointers, minus 105 with the Hawks in town here tonight. So he's hot. 4 or more threes in 5 of his last 6 games. The game where he didn't hit 4 threes was against the Celtics, who are one of the better 3-point defenses in the NBA. He had 3 in that game. Much different story here for the Hawks defense. Their perimeter defense is awful, especially against opposing guards. They're allowing 10 threes per game against guards since the All-Star break. For what it's worth, he hasn't played them this season, but in a game against Atlanta last season, he had 5 3-pointers. And volume won't be an issue here. You always want to pay attention to the volume of threes that guys are throwing up when you're betting 3-point props. He throws up a lot. He's 12th in 3-point attempts since the All-Star break. Easily the number 1 option here on Portland. So we'll take Simons to go over 3.5 threes. Okay, that is it for the NBA. Let us switch gears. College basketball is heating up. Conference tourneys, March Madness right around the corner. Let's bring in our guy. Is he there? There he is. Ro, what's shaking?
How's it going? Super, super busy right now, but so many odds, so many great plays on the board. So let's get to it.
Indeed. We have Dell, producer Dell, who's become a bit of a troll on the show here, mocking the Dolphins. Great free agency for the Dolphins, he says. It's not like Dell's a fan of the Eagles, who overpaid Barkley. That team's going nowhere soon. The Philadelphia Eagles. The Dolphins are having a fantastic 31-year-old Shaq Bear, talking about him like he's on the verge of retirement. Okay, let's get into the picks here. College hoops. Ro has a little bit of everything. He's got a total, a player prop, a spread, and a futures bet. Let's start with the total. Second round Big 12 action. Cincinnati, Kansas. What do you like here, Ro?
I'm taking the under 140.5 right now. Big story in this game, of course, is that Kansas is missing its top two scorers. No Hunter Dickinson, no Kevin McCullough. This is a team that has kind of struggled to score outside of those two guys for most of the season. So not having them in the lineup is going to be really bad for this offense. Now, this total did open at 137.5. So there's actually a lot of money coming in on the over. Probably the biggest reason for that is all the reports are that with Dickinson not in the lineup, Kansas is going to be playing small ball. They're going to try to get out and run, but I simply don't think they have the firepower to do that. Both these teams also do a great job of slowing down opponents. You look at Cincinnati, they're 300th in the country in average length of possession on defense. Kansas is 315th. Cincinnati, of course, they are a good defensive team. Even playing in the Big 12, they've really shown out on that end of the floor. 23rd in the country in adjusted defensive efficiency. That said, they struggle on offense. They're 194th in EFG percentage. That number drops to just 48.7% in conference play. They also turn the ball over a ton. And the other thing to keep in mind about this game is that it is taking place in Kansas City. So you're going to have a very pro Jayhawks crowd there. So it is going to feel like a little bit of a road game for them here. So I'm expecting both teams to struggle on offense. I love the under here.
Okay, next up, let's go to the SEC tourney for a player prop. We have Missouri taking on Georgia. Who are you targeting here?
I love the over points for Sean East. Now, probably a lot of people don't know who this guy is. The only reason you don't is because he plays for Missouri, who have one of the worst teams in the Power 6 conferences. You look at his numbers, they're outstanding. He's averaging almost 18 points per game. His shooting splits are insane. 53% from the field, 46% from three-point range. And you look at him recently, he's red hot. He scored at least 20 points in each of his last 7 games. He's averaging more than 25 points per game over that span. Now, Georgia, of course, they are not a good team either. They play at a fast pace. They rank 13th in the SEC in opponent EFG percentage. So they give up a ton of points as well. So this is a really good spot for them. He did play against Georgia earlier this season. He was limited to 18 points in that contest. But he took a season-high 20 field goal attempts, and he played every minute. So I'm expecting some positive regression here. And I think he goes over 20 points. And I think, if you can get milestone 25 plus, that'd be a nice little option as well.
Okay, next up, some Pac-12 tourney action. Late afternoon game, USC versus Washington. And you like Bronny James to score 50 points. Break this one down for us.
This is kind of a weird one. I'm going against the line movement once again. And I'm taking a team that is, not the team that is red hot right now. The Trojans are red hot. They've been winning a ton of games, ended up the regular season by upsetting Arizona. But I'm going against them. I'm fading them. And, it might be in part because I was really high on this USC team before the season started. I bet them at plus 4,000 to make the Final Four, I believe. That obviously crashed and burned. They really struggled. They have kind of turned things around lately. Having Collier back in the lineup and playing well has certainly helped. But I do think they have a bit of an inflated value because of their recent hot streak. I think they're due for a little bit of regression here. You look over at Ken Pom. Ken Pom is projecting a 79-76 win for Washington. So according to Ken Pom, Washington should be a 3-point favorite. Instead, they're catching 3.5 points here. You do look, a few weeks ago, USC did recently beat Washington on the road, beat them 82-75. But both teams kind of had outlier shooting performances there. The Trojans shot 54% from the field, 47% from deep. Well, the Huskies shot just 42% from the floor. So I'm expecting some positive regression from the Huskies, some negative regression from the Trojans. And I expect that we're going to see that inconsistent Trojan side we saw earlier this season. So give me the Huskies and the points here.
Row fading Bronny James and USC. Bronny James not quite living up to the hype that his old man created for him. Let the kid be a kid, says LeBron, once Bronny gets criticized after LeBron has done nothing for about the last 5 years about talking about his son playing in the NBA. That's a discussion for a different time, though. Okay, let's wrap things up, Row, with a futures bet here. Mountain West tourney winner. Who do you like to win the Mountain West?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going with the favorite here, San Diego State. But you can get this as high as plus 260 over at DraftKings. So still some pretty phenomenal value for taking the favorite to win a tournament. The reason, I mean, you're getting such a good number on this is that, you know, the Aztecs are a number 5 seed this year. The Mountain West has been an absolute dogfight. I mean, it looks like any team can win in any given night. At the same time, usually when that sort of thing happens, you see a lot of parity. You see a lot of good teams at the top. It's things like experience that really kind of lead the way and create that separation when you get to the very top. And the Aztecs certainly have the most experience out of any team in this tournament. They also have the best coach. You look at 3 of the last 6 years, they have won the conference tournament. They made it to the national title game last year, of course, and they returned a lot of those key players from last year. Jaden Ledee, Micah Parrish, Lamont Butler, Darian Trammell. So this is a team that knows how to win close games. They know how to win those tight games, and they haven't been covering the spread this year, but they are still winning for the most part. You look at this team as a whole, and they are the highest rated team in the conference, according to Ken Palm. They're a top 10 team nationally in terms of adjusted defensive efficiency. So if you can give me a team with the best coaching in this conference, the best defense, the most experience, I really like to come out on top. And another factor that I think doesn't really get enough consideration is that quite a few of these teams in the Mountain West, they have really stark home away splits. But a lot of those teams actually benefit from playing at elevation at home. We're talking about, New Mexico. We're talking about Utah State, teams like that, Colorado State. That factor does not play a role at all in Vegas. We're talking now, getting back to normal elevation there. So that's a big advantage for them at home, but that's something they don't really get when they play on neutral sites like Vegas. So give me the Aztecs to come out on top once again.
Okay. Thanks a lot for joining us, Ro. Ro's going to be with us throughout the rest of conference tourney time, doing a lot of great content over at covers.com. Then, of course, Selection Sunday is on Sunday. So he will be with us right through the national championship game. Ro, best of luck with those bets. Enjoy the games, and we'll see you next time we see you.
Good luck, Joe.
Indeed. Okay. Steve Blake chiming in on the live chat. A pretty good betting angle, I think, here. Miles Turner over 2.5 blocks plus 225. None of this minus 110 shit. He's 6 blocks away from the Pacers' all-time record, so maybe a little motivation there for him. And he's had 4, 6, and 4 in his last 3 games, going up against the dinky Chicago Bulls, who might as well just go into a full-on rebuild at this point. It's not working out with the core of players that the Chicago Bulls have. Okay, to recap my NBA picks, Nuggets Heat under 215.5. Go back and look at the NBA Finals games between those teams. Very low scoring. They combined for just 200 points a couple of weeks ago. Bulls and Pacers under 229.5. Kind of going with the trend here. 13 straight Pacers games with the total lower than 240 have gone under. I like Nick Richards, the center of the Hornets, to go over 19.5 points plus rebounds. Hornets versus Grizzlies. What a game that is. The game of the month across all sports. I think we would all agree. And then another banger here. Blazers playing host to the Hawks. Anfernee Simons over 3.5 threes, minus 105. Okay, so that does it for today's edition. Before you bet, we're going to be right back with you guys on Friday, of course. If you are here watching on YouTube right now, make sure you smash that like and subscribe button. If you're watching the replay on YouTube or over on X, hit up the comments section. Let us know what bets you like tonight. Let us know what you have to say. Let us know who you like to win the whole damn thing here in March Madness. Okay, guys, that does it for today. Best of luck with your bets. We will see you again on Friday. Yeah! Woo!